Hey guys, it's Mallard with another stamp video, and today we are going to continue to organize my Chinese stamp collection. This is the album I'm collecting some of the stamps from. These are the stamps that I've collected previously, and now we got to put them all together in my red stock book. I did do a part one of this series, so if you haven't seen that, check it out. It's where I kind of organized all the dragons, the ships, and the harvesters. And now we're actually going to get into the part of the Chinese stamp series that is just so complicated. Not necessarily because of, these stamps here. It's more when it comes to these stamps. The overprints. There are so many different overprints that come with these Chinese stamps. So I'm going to attempt to organize just these two sections, this one right here and this one right here, and then show you how I organize them, how I set them up, and put them into my stock book. So of course I kind of took a little time to think about how I'm going to organize these Chinese stamps, and especially with these two series, the thing that sets them apart from the other ones are these columns right here. So all these stamps, as you can see, have these columns. Now there are a few different color varieties, like you see up here, that are printed on different years, but I will do my best to organize these. What I'm planning on doing is just having one page of just the clean stamps with no overprints, and then another separate page of stamps with just overprints. We'll see how hard that is and how difficult that ends up being for space, because the last thing I want to do is actually set up my stock book and run out of space, so I'm definitely going to err on the side of giving myself more space than I think I need. So let's get into it. Of course, I'm going to reference my specialized Scott catalog for these. As you can see, they start right here with that guy. We have type 1, type 2, all of these overprints. We move down here, starts there, comes to this corner, all those guys, these are listed, then all of these overprints. So what I'm kind of leaning towards with this organization is I'm actually going to have 2 pages of just the plain stamps and then 2 pages of overprints, just to give myself enough room, because I do not want to run out of room. And I know overprints on these stamps can run into the late 40s and even sometimes the early 50s, and so I want to make sure I give myself enough room. So let's get organized. So the Lighthouse Stockbook I'm using only has 9 slots per page, and I believe there are 14 different slots. If you look here, it says 1 cent on 4, and where is it? 10 cent on 25. I'm just going to put those into the overprint page. That will not be these 2 pages. So I'm going to take this first section, which are these 2 lines, and I'm going to put them into this stock book, giving a line for each stamp that is not overprinted, and we'll see where we are once I do that. As I started to organize these, I noticed that there was a variation. Single line, circle, and sun. And so I had to do a little research, and I know what it is now. Over here, this does not have the single line, circle, and the sun. This one does. Do you guys see the middle of the sun and the circle that goes right around it before it gets to the rays? Do you see how dark that is and defined that is? That is a single line circle around the sun. As you can see on the one to the left, there is no single line circle around the sun. It is not dark, it is not defined, it is super thin, and the sun is basically touching the rays. The one on the right, as you can see, the sun core does not actually touch the rays. There is a circle separating the two. So that will be very important as I move on organizing these stamps. So I just got done transferring all of these stamps from this section over to my stock book, and let's take a look. As you can see, I did put 1 stamp on every single line. When I don't have a stamp there, 4 cent, single line circle around the sun, like I just explained, I leave a description of what should be there, just because I don't want to skip any stamps. As we move over here, 20 cent, 25, and then we get to our higher denominations there, and look at all the space we have, just in case. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go to my stock book, and I'm going to pull up all of these stamps I have that have that person on them, and I'm going to see if I can find any overprints or if I can add any to these normal stamps on these. All right, went to my stock book. As you can see, I added a few stamps right there, stacking them on. I did get a comment on the last video that you don't stack stamps unless there's no gum. These stamps are used. Their gum is completely gone. Of course, I also am staying in an air-conditioned apartment, so I'm not too worried about humidity in here. And a little anticlimactic on the overprints, honestly. I only have these two sets, but again, I'm leaving this page and this page open just in case, to be safe than sorry. And now we're getting into the section that I'm kind of dreading, just because I know how insane this is about to be, trying to organize these stamps. But I'm going to do my best for you. So just these stamps that have no overprints, there are 19 of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double up on the last page of these two stamps on the final line, just because I think the higher denomination will have the less stamps printed and used. At least that's my hope. I don't think there's any variations with the single line in the sun, but we'll get to that when we can. Again, I'm going to take these all out, split them up in between these two pages. Each stamp gets a line, except for the last two stamps. I'm going to put them on the same line. I'll bring y'all back in when I'm done. And we did it. All the hinges have been removed with water. They have all dried. I have put them all in here, as you can see. And I do have to take back my last comments about them being mostly used. These are pretty much all mint with gum on the back, so I will take special care of those for sure. And if you were wondering, this is a color variation right here that I just put on the same line as a 20 just to keep them together. And I did double up the bottom line here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through this book. I'm going to pull out all the overprints I see with these guys on them, and I will show you what we have after I put them in the stock book. All right, for the first video, I'm just going to show you kind of what I've done today. So this was the first group of stamps I did. I explained the variation in the single line, circle, and the sun. I did add a few. I found a few more in my stock book when I went back through it. Flipping the page. We are kind of scarce, but that's okay. Did find this guy. Happy to add him. Put the page. The next page, 2 pages will just be overprints of those sets of stamps. As you can see, only have a few variations there, but I did run across these. Now, the reason why I didn't put these kind of across from other ones is because these are $1, $1, $5, $20, and $50. And I'm not sure where to put them yet. I gotta do a little more research, but I don't have any more time today, so I just set them aside. These are the same stamps as the one to the left, but different denominations that I didn't see originally. So I'll have to do some research. Going up here, we added a few stamps all the way down. Flipping the page. Once again, added 1 or 2 stamps here and there from my stock book. And now we get to some fun overprints. Starting up here. So as you can tell, 1 is on the first, or is on the second row, and 1 is on the second row with the clean stamps that don't have overprints. So every stamp row on these pages corresponds with the denomination on the original page with the clean stamps, as I'll call them. And we'll go down. So I kept them in order as best I can. Beginning to think one line maybe wasn't the best idea for overprints, but we'll see. So this got interesting. So 15 was on this second line. I do have a block of them, so I just put it right there so it goes up. And then I ran across a block of 17s with the overprint, so I put them right there. Again, that 20 overprint, and all the way down, we got 2 overprints down here. So, wow. I'd say we made a lot of progress today on our book. Now let me show you the next juggernaut we will be tackling. It's going to be these guys down here, this type down here. So that should be super, super fun. We'll move into it. We'll get rolling. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. And as always, thank you all for watching. Appreciate you.